Hello. Welcome back to Almost 30 Podcast.
Hey, everybody. It's Lindsay and Krista. Welcome back to the show, back to the pod, a place where we've made all of our dreams come true and hopefully yours. No, we are two best friends that came together during a time in our life where it was not a dream. It was actually kind of a nightmare in our late 20s when things were just felt like they were falling apart. But now we know, truly, without sounding cheesy, they were coming together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a messy time in your late 20s. I feel like when I was younger, I thought I'd have everything figured out. I'd be like with the man, I'd be with the family, I'd be in the job or the career. And yeah, it's a really hard time. So we started Almost 30 in a quest to understand ourselves more, in a quest to create community, in a quest to feel less alone. And over the years, we've created this brand, this business that we deeply love. And we're so grateful to have you here. It's such a experience that does not get past me to be interacting with such amazing humans every single day. I always say that. I'm like, people say the internet's mean, and I'm like, my internet is so nice. Like, I have the nicest, you too, like kindest messages from people all the time. Such thoughtful, curious humans that I get to interact with on a daily basis. So grateful for the Almost 30 community. Grateful to have you here today. And we have Mimi Bouchard on the podcast. This one's such a good one. I had so much fun talking to her. We talked about so many things that we've discussed on the show: manifestation, visualization, creating your dream life. We talked about bounce back rate, which is something that I've actually never heard of before. And we talk a lot about the Superhuman app and the activations that I've been using for a few months now that have helped me feel amazing. It's helped me make more money. It's been just something that I've really loved to incorporate in my every single day. It felt like the missing puzzle piece in my life because my mornings before, I would look for an affirmation on YouTube, and it's like there's no good affirmations on YouTube. So I'd be listening to some weird AI of Louise Hay affirmations on YouTube. And then my YouTube feed would like hook me in with some clip of a comedian that I'd be like, okay, I'm going to watch this now. And then I'd be off to the races in a mess. So the Superhuman app and listening to affirmations like the lucky girl energy affirmations and the prosperity affirmations has been so good for my morning on the app. So I'm excited for you guys to dig into that as part of your morning routine.
It's kind of wild how like when you do something very focused like this, dive into the Superhuman app and, for example, do whether it's the lucky girl energy affirmations or expect good things to happen. It's wild to me how quickly I'm able to access that thought pattern, that energy, and that feeling in my body. Whereas maybe 10 minutes before, it felt so far away. It felt like, how am I going to get out of this? Whether it's like loop thought, that feeling of being stuck or in a rut or just in a bad mood or maybe waking up on the wrong side of the bed or overwhelmed. But it really is a moment and like a choice point and a moment. And that's all it takes. And so that's why, I really love this app. And what's different about it for me is like the full 360. There's the music, the sound, the voice, the visualizations. And sometimes I feel like some apps are very like 2D in that sense. There's even some like visual aspects of the app that are really interesting and engaging. So I really loved it as well. But yeah, I mean, it's literally there for us in any moment. And this is how we can leverage technology in a really positive way.
Yeah. And you guys can get 14 free days, like a 14 free day trial at activations.com/almost30 to get into that. That's activations.com/almost30 and you'll get 14 free days and then 60% off if you want a year membership. It's really, really powerful. So I'm excited for you guys to dig into that in this episode with myself and Mimi. And one of the things that I really loved that she talked about was the bounce back rate. So it's not about being perfect. It's not about doing all the right things, but it's how quickly you can come back to equilibrium and how quickly you can like get back on the horse after you mess up, after you have a mistake, after you, do something that you're not super proud of, or after you feel like you've failed. And I feel like that's such an important part of self-love and self-trust. I've been talking about this recently where I needed to understand self-trust because I think you and I both have been on our own self-trust journey. And what I've realized is that self-trust is not about being perfect. It's not about saying all the right things. It's not about doing all the right things, but it's about loving myself when I do things that are not perfect, when I am not perfect. And then coming back to that like center quickly and being like, okay, I had this mistake, but I still love myself no matter what. It's like knowing that you'll still have your back even when you're not perfect. And that was such an unlock for me because before I felt like self-love was just like, how perfect can I be? When I'm being perfect, I love myself. When I'm being thin, I love myself. When I'm being accepted by everyone, I loved myself. When my algorithm is hitting it just right, I love myself. And now it's such a different experience of like loving all the crunchiness, loving all the mistakes, loving all the messiness, if I said it in the most corny way, rather than like just the perfect.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think, yeah, that's like resiliency, in its truest sense. And it's helped me to kind of talk to myself in third person sometimes where I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
yo, girl, it's all good. Like you didn't think about that. And then that happened and you're kind of in a little bit of a mess right now, but like, it's all good. You've been in messes before. You can do this. Let's have a good meal. Let's get a good night's sleep and let's try again tomorrow. Like things like that, where it's just, how can we pull up and out of like the mental busyness of those moments where we feel like we failed or we're not perfect or whatever? And how can we become kind of the big sis, like, or give ourselves that pep talk? And so it's like that Seinfeld third person moment where I'm like, okay, girl, you better get up. Have you felt recently, like, especially with dating, I feel like you've had quite a success just meeting really great people, but also it is a practice of getting back on the horse over and over, even when you might feel like, man, okay.
I mean, I just love it. Like, I just love the learning because even recently I've had an experience where something that came up in a relationship was a no for me. It's like, and if my friend would have told me about this scenario, I'd be like, girl, that's a no. Yep. But when I'm in the scenario, I'm like, oh, they're nice. They didn't mean to, I feel bad for them. I feel bad saying no. Or it's like, all of a sudden I'm outsourcing the entire experience to like making sure that they're okay, even though they did the inappropriate thing or said the inappropriate thing. And I'm not at all being like, this is just a no for me. My experience is valid. How I feel is valid. The situation was talking to someone and then there was a comment made that was just really inappropriate. And I said something and then there was another comment made that was really inappropriate. And yeah, it's just a no for me, And I just felt so bad. I'm like, they didn't mean it and they probably thought it was nice and just going on this whole journey. And this is why you oftentimes need friends that are going to support you and be like, girl, this is a no. Joey was really helpful. Like in that he's like, just speaking into me, friends, and you do that too. It's like speaking into you, be like, no, this is not who you are. This is not the type of caliber of person or quality of person that you're looking for. So yeah, it's helpful to have someone speak into you and then you can almost like step into that version of yourself of like, would the person that I look up to the most accept this type of behavior?
Yeah.
Would the person that I want to be in the future accept this type of behavior in interacting and engaging with your future self or an expander or someone that you really look up to and being like, would they think this is cool? Would they be okay with this? And if it's a no, that's fine. And just making it about your no rather than about them receiving your no. It's like, no, this is just a no for me, no matter how you receive it or how you experience it. So yeah, it's never ceases to amaze me with the lessons that dating brings up.
Yeah, I remember, creating excuses, every excuse in the book for like poor behavior, where I'm like, well, they probably grew up without a mom.
100%.
Or like,
he told me about his mom.
I could help them. Like we could work through this or, they're really hot. So maybe I can make it work or, whatever.
The codependent in me is like, I deserved it somehow. I asked for it. That's my always. It's somehow I asked for it. Somehow I deserve it. Somehow it's my fault.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I think dating is like such a, to your point, like very cool and kind of fun container to like learn even more about yourself,
Yes.
where there's going to be lessons around every corner and anyone you meet. But I think it's so important in those moments to realize that what you are saying yes to or quote settling for is the message you're sending to universe, God, whatever, whatever you want to call it. But it's such a bat signal where it's like, this is what I accept. This is what I'm saying yes to. So bring me more of this. And I think you've done such a good job. But like, I remember being in such a rut with like dating people where I was getting the same ass thing over and over and over. Like the person who was completely unavailable, but available at like 11 p.m. on a Saturday night only. And I'm like, huh? Mm-hmm. But it would happen over and over and over. And I was settling for it. And I was going over at 11 o'clock at night. And I was waiting for the text and not making plans over and over and over until it was just a no for me. Mm-hmm. And it was hard because I then have to like be like, okay, no, like I'm not making plans. I'm not seeing this person. I'm kind of cutting off that source of little tiny validation. It wasn't even good
and
validation.
Connection.
Yeah, connection. And cutting that off, then like people started to come in who like slowly but surely resembled someone that like I could be with, where I'm like, oh, I love that about you. Or I love this, value you have, or I love how you listen or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I also too, in this situation with the inappropriate comments, I was like, what if my man saw like, what if my man was like, what did you, like, I'd be embarrassed. Like I would be embarrassed, like, oh, my future man would be like, that is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
My future man would beat him up.
Beat. It is like, there would be, he just would be, how did we even get this far? And what I noticed that I do is like banter baddie. Like I'm quick witted. I can be funny. I can be light. Like I'll be playful, cool, fun. And then I hide parts of myself. I hide my depth. I hide my sweetness. I hide my, just a whole lot of me because I'm over indexing on this part that I know will be accepted, that I know is palatable, that I know men like. And it's like, I kind of get myself in these situations where, they're like, yeah, she's fucking cool banter baddie. And then they say shit. And I'm like, damn, that's not what I was. I was like, yeah, I'm still a girl. I'm cool, funny? But I'm not that cool.
No, it just goes 0 to 100.
0 to 100.
And 0 to inappropriate. And it's like, dude, ooh, what is that within them that takes your coolness and like funny whatever and goes there?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a test. I don't know if it's...
Potentially.
I don't know. Yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, I think when we think about the dream life scenario, living a life that we love and creating experiences that we love, it really is like the tests and the no's, like the gentle nudges kind of moving you closer to what you're looking for and seeing this as an example of like, okay, how can I step into the future self, which is someone that's clear and kind, has their boundaries and just knows what they want, instead of me acting like I don't know what I want or kind of like prioritizing their experience. So each of these has been something that really can help me be more of myself, stand up for myself, prioritize my own experience, which are all lessons that I very much have had to learn in this lifetime. So it's just more of the tests, that you have to go through. But sometimes you're just like, I want to break.
I know.
I don't want to like,
or just like a little reset where it's like,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I mean, this was the last one in the door before I was proclaiming a reset. So God was like, I've told you we're having a reset. So let yourself have a reset.
We just wanted it to be obvious.
Yes, honestly. Well, I knew, and I've been dragging my heels. And also I had to be honest with myself where I was like, what I'm getting from this is I like the hit of the conversation, the fun, whatever. And I was like, that was my bad, that I knew it wasn't right. And then I was just enjoying this. And so I was like, I knew it wasn't right and I wasn't going to go any further with this person. So it wasn't kind to him to be just getting that, you know what I mean?
Totally.
To this whole experience. So, we have more episodes on dating too that we've talked about. So just search Dating Almost 30 if you want more of that kind of tea. Yeah, but baby. I want to get into this one with Mimi Bouchard. We had so much fun. So she's an entrepreneur. She's a trailblazer. She has activations on her audio app, Superhuman. Superhuman is incredible. It's not like a meditation app. It is for like the active girly. I like to listen to the activations, which is our audio-based visualizations, meditations, journal prompts. When I'm cleaning, I like to listen to them in the morning when I'm setting my tone for the day, and even in the evening. You know, I've listened to them before bed when my subconscious is incredibly primed for listening to things like this. So the Superhuman app can help you manifest your dream life. It can help you get into that lucky girl energy. It can help you just really experience the feeling of the body experience, the mind visualization experience, and then the audio experience of everything that you want to create in life. And again, we have a discount for you guys. This is not going to go on long, so this sale is really, really exciting. You can get 60% off the year membership, 8 months free, and then 14-day free trial of the Superhuman app just for Almost 30 listeners at activations.com/almost30. So even if you're just going to try it, you guys have to. It's so good.
Yeah, get that free trial. We know you'll love it. All right, y'all, thank you so much for listening. If you're new to Almost 30, or even if you're an OG, check out what we're up to lately at almost30.com. We have our incredible membership where people are coming together to not only just focus on their individual path, self-development, but be in community while we do it, have fun while we do it, feel resourced while we do it. Membership is an incredible place. So join us there, almost30.com/membership, and make sure to follow us on all the socials. Almost 30 podcast on Instagram and TikTok. We are there. We are popping. We appreciate your fellowship.
Yes, our young fellows. All right, guys, you can go to activations.com/almost30 to get activations from the Superhuman app. You can connect with Mimi online. She has a podcast called Mimi, which is really great. I'm going to go on it later this year. And then you can find her on Instagram at Mimi Bouchard.
Okay, taking care of your health isn't always easy, but it should at least be simple. Can we all agree that? That's why for the last, it has been almost 4 years now, I've been drinking AG1 every day, no exceptions. It's just one scoop mixed in water once a day, every day, and it makes me feel so nourished every single morning. I take it on an empty stomach. That's because each serving of AG1 delivers my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, and more. It's such a powerful habit that also is powerfully simple. I'm all about simplicity lately, just making it easy to get what I need to make me feel healthy, focused, energized. So what does my morning look like with AG1? I get up first thing in the morning, I put my contacts in, I brush my teeth, and then I come out here, I do a little meditation, and waiting for me is my packet of AG1 that I pour into a glass, and I add water. I like room temperature water, but you could do cold water as well. I mix it up and I drink it. It's the first thing I put into my belly, and I am ready to go. And honestly, this creates a cascade effect of really good habits throughout my day. So I am sure that I get my daily nutrients. I feel just focused. I feel energized. My body feels good. I feel regular. And I know that they are obsessed with quality. Okay, AG1 from the very beginning, are obsessed with high quality nutrition. They go through a rigorous process, testing process, so you know every ingredient is safe, and they are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrient density. So if there's one product I had to recommend to elevate your health, it is AG1, and that's why we've partnered with them for so freaking long. We love them. So if you want to take ownership of your health, start with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs. Those are my faves with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/almost30. That's drinkag1.com/almost30. Check it out.
We can cruise. Let's cruise right into it. I even want to talk about, and we can just even start with continuing that conversation about the masculine and feminine, and then we'll cruise into your journey. But I feel like that's such a good place to start, because for someone that's as successful as you, and I can relate in a way where I built our business being in my masculine. I was like fully in my masculine, and I have so much compassion for that version of me. I have so much love for that version of me. But it's been interesting because I feel like you're on the same tip, and I am too. And a lot of the women that I surround myself with are way more in their feminine than ever before. Like we were even at a lunch yesterday in Nobu, And we were all talking about all the things that are going well in our life that we're excited about. And in previous years, we'd be like, I had this launch, I had this 6-figure thing. We'd all be doing a numbers game of our business. And now we're all like touchy feely. We're like, I feel really good in my body. Like I'm really enjoying rest. And it's so beautiful to be in that space. But what was your journey being in your masculine? Like, what did it feel like? How did you feel? And how do you notice your life shifting now that you're more in your feminine?
It's such a good question because I still reached a lot of success in my
I
masculine
know.
energy.
Sometimes I get sad. I'm like, will I be successful now that I'm not in it?
Oh, no, 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 no. You will.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why. So what the point I was going to make earlier that I forgot was if you are in your feminine and in tune with your sensuality, with your energy, and with the women feel more. We are sensitive, and it's beautiful to be highly sensitive. I am a very highly sensitive person. Might cry in this podcast. Like,
Yep. It's gonna happen. You
literally.
can tell in your eyes that you're an HSP. There's like an
Yeah.
eye of the HSP.
Yeah, I've always been that ever
Yeah.
since I was a little girl. But I've realized that us, when we're in our feminine, we are more open to the sensitivity, but it's an amazing thing. We are master manifestors when we are in that feminine and that sensitivity because you feel deeper. Masculine energy doesn't allow you to feel deeply. And I'm telling you, when I do my activations, when I'm doing my manifestation practice, whatever you want to call it, it starts with feeling like you are the version of yourself that you want to be. Like right now with me, just feel like the version of you that you want to be. Feel the energy. It's really not hard. It's so much more simple than you think. Inside of you and then around you. What does it feel like to be your future self, to be radiating this energy of bliss, abundance, awe, a joy for life? Feeling like everything is conspiring or the universe is conspiring in your favor. Everything is happening for a reason. And feel that energy. It is literally magnetizing. So I realized that the beginning of my career, I was in my masculine and I'm still achieving because it's totally possible to achieve in that energy. And I was also very much so matter to matter. I was working very hard. I was doing the hard things. But then the past 2 years, especially the past 2, 3 years, and this journey has been over a decade, I have really stepped into this feminine and this feeling and this embodiment, and I have grown 10 times more than I did in the previous 7 years. So I'm here to tell you that it's possible. Being in your feminine is so powerful because it gives you the ability to feel deeply. And when you are able to feel deeply and connect with the energy that you want to select in this world, that is how you get there. And it happens so much faster than you think when you really tap into it. You don't need to be perfect. I've never had one day where I've been in my future self energy for the whole 24 hours. You don't need to be perfect at this. It's just a constant habit and reminder to tune back in. So, yeah.
That's huge. I mean, it's so interesting because I've thought about the concept of using like pleasure because highly sensitive people can like tap into pleasure more. And that's like the body experience of feeling for manifestation. But I've actually never thought about the fact that like, because we feel deeply and feeling is such an important part of manifestation, we can create so much more. It's so interesting because I don't know if you have this. I think this is probably more for me, but because I feel so much, I have to like be alone and then I have to get everyone else's energy out of my field and then kind of be in my own feeling. Because even when you were like, tune in, I was like, if you guys are here, I can't tune in. You know, it's
Oh,
like,
no, but you
it's so,
can, Krista.
I know.
So what you need to do is picture, because I get it, and I'm like you, and other people's energy affects me, but I've come to a realization that it's actually in my control to not allow that.
Yeah.
So all you need to do is feel like, before you do this, just feel like you're in a bubble, and it's a sealed container that is just you in there. No one else can get in. And you must do that because you cannot jeopardize you not being in your future self, higher self energy with people around. It is so important for you to be in that energy in everyday moments when you're grocery shopping, when you're walking the dog, when you're driving to work. You need to embody it with your eyes open. And this is the basis of all of my work. It's embodying the energy of your future self with your eyes open in everyday moments, because it's one thing sitting down in the morning, doing a cute little 10-minute meditation, feeling good, opening up your eyes, going through your day and being the same person that you were yesterday. That doesn't do anything. That is not effective. Maybe in the moment you feel more relaxed, but you need to activate your future self energy throughout your day while you're living your life. Because if you do that, then you actually memorize what it feels like to be your future self. And it's like the Pavlov dog theory. This is like basic psychology. And that theory essentially states that when Pavlov rings the bell, the dog salivates. Everyone knows this theory. It's so true. What if every morning when you're making yourself breakfast and getting ready for your day, you're just listening to a getting ready activation? We could talk about that later. Or you can just listen to something. Audio is so powerful to help you transform your state. So listen to something that reminds you to be your future self. And if you do that every single morning, it's just a matter of time for you to not even play that thing, that activator, and be that future self in everyday moments. When you're doing your makeup, when you're, making your smoothie in the morning, if you're feeling and moving like the version of you that you want to be, and you just teach yourself to do it in these mundane, everyday moments, that is the trick to change as effortlessly as possible with the least amount of work in the most effective and quickest way.
Yeah, I can't wait. There's so much I want to talk about. I think the first thing is sort of unpacking the future self, because I think for a lot of people, they have the vision of what they want their life to be. So say they're in a job that they hate, they're in friendships that don't feel fulfilling, they maybe don't feel super comfortable in their body. So they kind of see that maybe they see images of things, or maybe they just know they want to change it, but do they have to know what the feeling of feeling in a body that they love feels like? Or how do they get even the feeling if they feel like they've never felt it?
Okay, so I'm going to talk you through my 2-step process to transformation. And this is so dumbed down and simple, but it doesn't have to be hard. I want to preemptively say transformation coming from someone who honestly is not very consistent, coming from someone who has tried most of her life to try to be someone else. It doesn't have to be hard. So my 2-step process is number 1, clarity, and number 2, becoming. If you have both of those things, it's just a matter of time. So listen, clarity. Let's use the body example, because both you and I have transformed our bodies over time. And, I personally, I can talk from personal experience, used to have a very, very, very bad self-image growing up. I had eating disorders to the max, but binge eating disorders, hating my body, restricting, binging, purging. I hated myself. This is in my teenage years. I hated myself, even to the extent of self-harm when I was really young, which was terrible. And, the way that I got over that, 2 things. So number 1 is clarity, seeing a vision for the future. Who do I want to be? Who is the version of me that has the life and body and relationship with body and relationship with food that I desire? So I realized, okay, the version of myself, and I would journal about this, I would write about this, I'd think about this, I'd visualize this. The version of me that has that, she eats whatever she wants intuitively. She doesn't even think about food. Okay, back then, all I thought about was food. What am I going to have for lunch? What am I going to have for dinner?
How am I going to work out? How many
calories? Should I have one more bite?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Logging everything in my fitness pal.
Yeah.
Just this obsession. You know how many years of our lives we wasted doing that?
Do you know how many journals I have that are just my food diaries that started for 3 days and I stopped? I will look at 100 journals and I'm like, damn, there's my food diary again. Where I'm shake.
And then you always need a new journal, a fresh start.
Fresh start. And I was I maybe food journaled 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
And it was and sometimes my food journal would actually be what I wanted myself to eat that day.
And
but
you never, No. Yeah.
No, it would be the restriction. Okay.
Yeah.
So clarity on how you want to feel, how you want to have a relationship with your body. Keep going.
And what you would think every day. So I would literally visualize the version of me that would wake up, not even think about food until my stomach started growling. I'm listening to my body. My stomach wants food. Okay, what do I want to eat? Anything. If I could have anything, what would it be? Okay, I want some toast with avocado, maybe a fried egg, whatever it is, or I want a croissant, whatever it is. Listen to my body. And then I would literally just choose to make that or buy that and eat it and not think about food again until I was hungry again. And I would also visualize myself being this version of me while having the body of my dreams. So I wasn't ready to give up having the body of my dreams. That was a huge fear of mine when I would allow myself to stop the control of food, to then be in the body of my dreams. And guess what? Exactly that happened.
Really?
Within 6 months, I was visualizing this every day. And I would also visualize, and I have activations for this. I visualized with my binge eating disorder because I would really have a bad relationship with food. It was like a stress relief for me.
Yeah, same. I was a binger.
Yeah. A lot of women are.
Yeah.
It's a way that we we're so controlling.
Yes.
And it's a way for us just
To
to
soothe.
like soothe.
Soothe and relax and let go and have my own space and have my own peace and have my own moment. And it was like a guaranteed happiness.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I know what to do.
You be in a frenzy, you don't even think.
I
You're
know.
numb.
It's crazy. You
It's
black
really
out.
crazy. You black out.
I remember like driving home and being like, yo, it's on. It is on. No one is home and I'm about to go in.
Yeah. And then for me, I'd purge to have more after. Like it was really bad.
I didn't purge. I was kind of jealous of people that purged, but so you have the clarity and then you.
Okay, so going back, but just on that point, what I did to fix that binge eating before I go into the process here, I'd visualize like stop binge eating. It's like an activation on Superhuman. So I would literally put myself through a process of mental rehearsal. And mental rehearsal is so powerful to change the brain. It literally creates new neural pathways in your brain. It is like the easiest thing to do to change a habit, because in the moment when you get that initial craving, you are stressed out after a long day of work. Like it is so hard in the moment to change a behavior, but if you use mental rehearsal when you're not even in that state and you literally visualize yourself going through the steps of getting a trigger, feeling stressed after a long day of work, having restricted, wanting to binge, and then in your mind in this visualization, you literally visualize yourself choosing different. Choosing, okay, I'm going to have a big glass of water and I'm going to call a friend. Choosing a different action, and you go through it in your mind over and over again. And then guess what's going to happen? Next time you have a trigger and you want to binge, there's going to be a moment in your mind where you think, oh, wait, I have a decision here. Should I do this that I did a mental rehearsal, or should I do this? So I honestly only did this for like 6 months and my entire eating disorder went away. And by the way, I'm speaking from personal experience. Obviously, like a lot of people need to seek help for very severe eating disorders. For my personal story, I healed myself. And I would listen to these visualizations and I healed myself. And then guess what? I also lost weight in the process and my body became, because I was also visualizing myself in the body that I desired. I lost over 15 pounds and I like was eating whatever I wanted to and I wasn't obsessing over food. And I'm now at the place where I literally don't think about food until I'm hungry and I order what I want. I have the best relationship with my body. So going back to the point, you need clarity. You need clarity
on how you want to feel and how you want to look. In this case, what is the relationship you would want with food?
In detail. Who is she? Who is the version of you that has what you want? And this goes for body. This goes for intuitive eating. This goes for financially. This goes for in your relationship. One of the biggest areas of my life that I've transformed is financially. I went from $8 in my bank account 7-8 years ago to now I like, again, feel a bit awkward talking about this, but I know it's super important because I want to be an expander, but my company is now worth tens of millions of dollars. I have millions in my bank account. I own a lot. I've owned property. I'm very abundant. And this is truly what I believe got me there at 27 years old. So it is getting crystal clear on who that version is or who that version of you is, and then becoming her in everyday moments, not with your eyes closed in your morning meditation, but with your eyes open, because that is the quickest way to change. We spoke about that when you're listening to audios that change your state, that allow you to visualize. And for everyone listening, if you don't know the Superhuman app, I own Superhuman. It's an activation app. So it's not meditation, it's activation. And it's these motivational audios designed to be listened to in everyday moments exactly like this. And it's inspiring, uplifting music, like kind of practical visualization that you just listen to throughout your day and your subconscious starts to change. And the reason that this is so effective is because, as we all know, your thoughts and beliefs create your life. It creates your personality. It creates the world you live in between your ears. And that ultimately affects your energy, the vibration you put out. And from a more pragmatic, scientific point of view, when you think new thoughts and new beliefs, the RAS in your brain begins to change. So the RAS is the reticular activating system in your mind. And this is essentially the system in your brain that decides what to filter out from the information all around you and decides what to bring to your conscious attention. So we've all been there. You want to buy the new red car and then you start seeing it everywhere. You want to buy this, new Dyson Airwrap or a piece of makeup or whatever it is. And then you just start seeing it everywhere. It's like it didn't show up more. You're just noticing it. And that exact same thing happens when you start thinking thoughts and embodying thoughts of abundance, of clarity, of a love for life, of opportunity. And guess what? You start seeing reasons why that is true. You start seeing opportunities that you would have missed before because you just couldn't see them. You start, with your body, like seeing opportunities and thinking differently. And the RAS in your mind is such a simple thing that you can reprogram with listening to certain audios like this repeatedly in everyday moments.
Yeah, I love the audio component of Superhuman. I feel like it's just audio is something I'm so passionate about, obviously, through the podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so healing. I feel like it's so underrated. I feel like we're so obsessed with the physical material. Like I can see you, I can touch this, I'm kind of here. But what's happening in the invisible, especially with audio, is so powerful, and how affected people can be by voices, sound, like things that are heard in their ears. Like it's just such an amazing component of it. So what was your journey with the audio piece of it? Like where did you realize that audio was so powerful in this?
Good question. So I started my journey in the personal development space in my early 20s or late teens. I did everything very young. I lived a very
Wow.
big life at a young age,
Yeah.
in good and bad ways. So I went through a lot of difficult times in my youth. And then I decided, okay, this is for me, personal development. I'm addicted to this now. Like I want to make my life as good as it can be.
You have to hit rock bottom to most of us have been rock bottom. That's why we're here. We're like, we need to change.
Yes, we need a change. So back in the day, I was, reading all the books, listening to all the podcasts, doing the Tony Robbins seminars, like literally doing everything.
Yep.
Gotta love the OG, Tony.
OG.
Yeah. And the one personal development practice that I could not stick to for the life of me was meditation. I was like, always just saying that my brain works too quickly. I can't stick to it. All the other things I loved doing. I loved journaling. I loved, doing all these other positive things that the books would tell me to do. I loved auditing my friend group. I did all the things. But the one thing I couldn't stick to was meditation. It felt really boring to me. I couldn't stay consistent with it. I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't feel a huge difference after doing it. And when you're anxious and stressed, the last thing I wanted was some guy in my ears to be like, slow your breath. Like, I'm like, what is the benefit of this right now? I want to go live. I felt this energy, this like power, this like drive, this fire to go like live a big life. And that's why I was really into personal development in the first place. It wasn't necessarily to reduce stress. It was to live my ultimate potential.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get into the meditation thing, but then I was reading all these books on neuroscience on how visualization is so deeply powerful when it comes to changing your life. It's pretty much essential. And the power of visualization is so strong. So I was like, okay, I remember where I was. I was in like my studio apartment when I was living in London. Literally as like a quarter of the space of this room, like there was just a bed and a fridge. And
you're like living. You're like, it's in a good location.
Yeah, it literally was.
Of course. The dumpier the place, the better the location normally.
Totally. So yeah, I was just like, okay, how do I visualize without meditation? And then intuitively, I took out the voice memos app on my iPhone and I just started recording. And I was recording. It took a few times because I was kind of like, awkward on audio back then.
That's so sweet because no one was going to listen.
Yeah, well, now I listen to them and they're so cute. And I'm like, I literally created this entire thing. So maybe I'll reveal someone day.
I would love. You have to hear your little voice being like, hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
But it was funny. I actually had a really raspy voice back then because I was still going out and partying a lot. So I was just like always hungover and I was kind of trying to change my life at the same time.
Yep.
But anyway, so I was recording these voice memos just intuitively. I was like, okay, I'm going to describe the life that I'm going to have. And so I was there saying, all right, so I have millions of dollars in my bank account and I have this amazing relationship and I feel good in my body and I'm not binge eating and I am like, I'm the Mimi I know. I just described her. And in detail though, so these would be 20 minutes long and I would say affirmations in them. I'm like, I am this. I would literally record these with the intention that I would re-listen to them in everyday moments. So when I was cooking, when I was on the tube, I was in London at the time, so I was public transport, going to the gym. Throughout my day, I would just listen to them. I remember being on the tube, walking through the park, doing this, doing that, listening to them, grocery shopping. And then the trick was, and I had read this in the book, it's not just about visualizing it, it's about feeling it while you're visualizing it. And just like allowing these thoughts to kind of go on repeat in the back of your mind as well. The more you play it, the more effective it is. So I would record these and then like I'd get bored of one really quickly. So I'd record another. And then I started getting into podcasting back in the day and I had a professional microphone. So I'd record them into there and then I'd add inspiring music because music has always been something that really influenced my state. Like at like the bridge of a beautiful song, like I get goosebumps. Like I knew how motivational music could be. So I started adding these inspiring songs behind it. And I would just listen to it in everyday moments. And that is when single-handedly my life started changing so quickly. So fast forward, I ended up making a company about it and Superhuman. All we have is activations. We have over 15 categories of activations from, we have seated activations. We have walking activations. We have
I love legs up the
cooking,
wall.
cleaning, legs up wall.
Cooking.
Like motherhood, we have like every category in the world. Travel, like everything, writing, guided journaling sessions that you have prompts spoken to you and music. And all of our music with our audio engineers that I always tell them it has to be this feeling. And I'm on these calls with these audio engineers that are so technical. And I'm like, you guys, we need the music to make you feel like you're in a movie, to make you feel like you're moving towards your dream life. It can never be stagnant. And they're like, okay, I think we get it. So
yeah,
it's been,
like, okay.
there are like 600 plus activations on the app.
Wow.
When I first launched the app, I was telling you off air, I actually didn't know what to call them because I was like, these aren't meditations, but I don't know what to call them. So the first, like the company's been around for 2.5 years. The first 2 years, I just called them meditations, but I kept prefacing whenever I describe it to people, like, this is not a meditation app. I just don't really know what to call these audios. And then just a few months ago, we did a big rebrand to activations from meditation because it really just describes what we offer more. And then we, like I mentioned to you off air, started seeing copycats, people trying to launch walking meditations, legs up wall meditations, and just doing it as
and
a
that's
bad
business,
copy.
baby. And I was saying that's so hard. Like that's such it's obviously a form of flattery, yada, yada, but it hurts. Like it hurts to have your creative, like when you have a creative download or like a uniquely creative idea to you to bring it out into the world and then have it stolen hurts.
Yeah.
I've had friends take my idea.
Really?
Oh,
that's bad.
Yeah.
But then when you remember to get back into your energy that you want to embody,
totally.
you just kind of think it's a bit pathetic and just forget about it.
Yeah.
Like I know that what I've created is so special.
Yeah.
I know because not just thousands of transformation stories, but I just know deep in my soul that this was what I was meant to do on this planet. And there's no competition. No one's going to do it as good as me.
Yep.
There's something about, like, and I'm really just saying this like in a non-cocky way, but there's something about Superhuman that no one else can replicate. There's something about it. And
it's your frequency.
It's the frequency of it.
Yep.
And if you listen to content that's like a bad copy, the frequency is there of like it being a bad copy. So I'm excited about this activations era. I even like bought activations.com, trademarked everything.
Oh my God, was that expensive?
Well, I negotiated it really well. I want to know how.
Oh my God, yes.
I got my assistant.
I'm a domain freak.
Oh my God.
My whole team, I probably have 60. I have like KristaLindsay.com, lindsayandkrista.com, almost 30, almost 40.com, almost 50.com, KristaAlmost30.com, da-da-da-da.
I love you so much.
Insane. My team has like more domains. I'm like, yes, GoDaddy is my daddy.
GoDaddy is my daddy.
Like, let's go.
The amount of domains I have too. Like I literally have like walkingactivations.com, cooking. I'm like,
Obsessed.
I don't need it.
Legs up the walk. You're like Mimi activations. Like, it could go forever.
I literally had an idea once that I was going to like in the future with technology, I was going to create these pods that you could like go into and like get an energetic upgrade with the audio frequencies.
That's sick.
I obviously would need like tens of millions and like in the future, but I was like, okay, superhumanpod.com, done.
Superman Pod's a good one. Literally. That's a fucking sick one.
Anyway, so activations.com, it was like on this big domain website.
Yeah,
where
that's
there were
huge.
like thousands of domains to buy. And it was this big company. So initially it was up for like 40 grand. And then, so I emailed the guy being like, hi, like I'm starting a small business, like for my personal email, like, can you please do
Just
like
a little girl.
$15,000?
Yeah.
And then he was like, no, we can do a payment plan of $15,000 up front, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, sorry, it's just not that worth it for me because like the company's name is Superhuman, but you know, we have activations trademark. So I was like, it'd be fun because I love a domain. And then
You're like, we'll survive.
we'll survive. And then I got my assistant to email him, the guy, like the sales guy, with like from her personal email being like, hi, could I buy this for $5,000? And he was like, no. And then like a week later, he messaged me back being like, I'll sell it for 15. And I was like,
Stop
ka-ching.
it right now. That's
Yeah.
genius.
So it's still expensive, but
Of course.
like it's an asset. And
Yes.
who knows, in the future, we might just simplify everything and just call it activations.
Wow.
You never know.
I love the 5,000 one. That is like psychology in the background. I love that you did your own activations with the audio. I think that's so powerful, and a practice that my friends and I do that helps get into the bigness of the dream is to help expand it. So we'll be sitting together and I'll be like, this is my vision for my life. And I'll be like, I'm in Malibu, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And they'll be like, okay, and how does it feel? And then what are you wearing? And then what do they say? And like, it's
What great
actually really
friends you
beautiful. Oh
have.
yeah.
Gosh, I need friends like,
Oh,
well, I
yeah.
have friends like that. I don't have that. Like I have like maybe 3 very close friends. I'm a
Yes.
bit of a loner.
I'm obsessed. I mean, the most, I
I'm
spent
very
too much time
real
just,
about it.
I'm wasting my life just hanging out. But I think for the girls that are doing the audio, whether it's friends or not, but like, I think the point that I want to make, and I think you're already doing this, is like making it big. Because I think for a lot of women, we can start smaller where we're like, I hate my job. And it's almost like a flip to like going from I hate my job to like making millions or making 100K or making whatever.
You have to
how
start
much
small, Krista.
Yes.
Back in the day when I had $8 in my bank account,
Yeah,
I was
what
like,
was your first
wow.
audio like? Was it big or like did you move your way up?
No, I moved my way up.
Okay.
I think the beginning it was just, well, first I focused on body stuff because that was my biggest problem at the time. And then I focused on financial, but I'll tell you something crazy.
Let's hear.
The day before I met Ben, my fiance, my partner of 6.5 years, my first boyfriend.
Love.
The love of my life, out of my league, like the guy for me. Well, the day before I met him on October 12th, 2017, I recorded an activation on my voice memos. I have it. It describes him.
Stop.
There have been many things. And listen, I am a very, I think, level-headed person. I need to see my research before believing in something. I have a spiritual side to me, absolutely. But I also love reading the books on the science, the neuroscience of it all. I have had too many things happen in my life to prove that this shit works. I can tell you my first $100,000 month, it shouldn't have happened. It was the weirdest situation and something happened that shouldn't have happened that I did not expect. This was like 3 years ago or 2 years ago. And it was January, I think, of 2022. And my business was only like 5 months old. And in the subscription business space, it's very consistent money. You have monthly memberships. It was consistent. So at the time, Superhuman was doing $30,000 a month.
It was amazing.
Which is great. And like, honestly, up to this point, I told you off air, we have not paid for any marketing up until this month. And the business has been alive for 2.5 years. We've grown to tens of thousands of subscribers through word of mouth alone.
It's amazing.
That, again, shouldn't have happened to a little girl like me. But going back to that $100,000 point. So $30,000 a month. And I specifically remember that month, it was a January, I was feeling motivated. I was like, I want to tune into $100,000 a month Mimi. This is my, I didn't put a timeline to it. I was just like, okay, I'm going to embody this energy. So intensely that month, I wasn't perfect any day, but I kept coming back to the point of like, what would it feel like to make 6 figures in a month? And out of nowhere, this random opportunity fell in my lap. Like it was this like affiliate thing, like the bundle ebook. Do you remember
I've
those?
done that.
Okay.
You fucking make money. It's
Well,
crazy.
listen, I know my audience. Like I don't have like a massive audience, you know?
Yeah, but I hear you.
Like
Yeah, I hear
I
you.
know what they buy.
Totally.
Okay.
And we love you guys.
I know like the rate. I was like, okay, maybe I'll make 10 grand from this. And like I had a course that was on it. It was very aligned. I had no idea. And I shouldn't have made this money. So that month with Superhuman, I made 30 grand. At the end of the month, I look at my earnings from this affiliate thing. It was 70 grand on the dot.
Unreal.
I made 100 grand on the dot that month. And I was like, what?
That's crazy.
And then I lost that vibration a little bit because I wasn't practicing it. And again, I am not, I go in and out of this work. I know it works, but I'm also very human and I forget all the time. So I need to remind myself. And then, steady growth. And then, then there were times where I manifested crazy things that, again, were like not even comprehensible to me. Then it was my first 100K day. And then it was just this insane stuff. So money, I've been good at manifesting. And I love talking about it because I didn't come from anything. My parents are artists. Like, I've had a great upbringing, love my parents, but they did not give me any money from the time I was 17 years old. I had to make this myself. My next goal is actually to retire my parents. And I am so excited to do that because I think it'll just be so fulfilling. But we were talking off air about like, what's your deep why? Because for me, money is important. I honestly feel like part of my soul purpose of being on this planet is to be abundant and to share abundance. Like it's always been something I've been very much so drawn towards. And I think a lot of people can probably relate. And I think the moment that I took away the shame about wanting so much money, it was when I started even creating more in my life. There's nothing to be shameful about making money. You can help the people in your life. I support a lot of people in my life. I've been able to live a certain life that feels so vibrationally aligned with me. So I just wanted to mention that too, because
huge.
Mimi from 8 years ago would have wanted to hear that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. The money thing is huge. I think people, if you hear someone say like, oh, I want a lot of money, they're like, they're greedy, they're bad, there's something wrong with them. But I think when women have money, we're the ones that give the most. We're the ones that distribute the most. We're the ones that like do the most with it. But I want to talk a little bit about the science behind visualization. If you have it, like what is happening with your brain and what is happening with the audio and the music part? Like how does that impact the whole experience of activations?
Absolutely. And we have a lot of neuroscientists that we've spoken to for Superhuman. I'm definitely not one, so I'm not going to describe it as in-depth as someone else like that could. But essentially, when you visualize, you create new neural pathways in your brain. And once a neural pathway is made, then it's like a bridge to change. So like at the beginning, it's a little bit hard, but then the more you do it, the easier it gets. So with neuroplasticity, that's one point. Your brain literally changes when you think different thoughts. The number 2 point is the RAS that I already spoke about, reticular activating system. It's literally a filtration system in your brain that decides what to present to you consciously. Like that is magical. Can you imagine programming your mind? Yeah. And the cool thing about this is that, well, it works with big beliefs about the world. So if you have a victim mentality, you're gonna have so many great examples about why you're a victim. But if you are in this empowered state, and I truly believe that I'm 100% responsible for my life, coming from an ex-victim. When I was younger, I was a victim. Oh, I didn't come from much. Oh, this person does that.
Yeah.
Coming from an ex-victim, I know I'm 100% responsible for my life. And I only saw victim mentality things back then because that's how my RAS was programmed. So now I have programmed my RAS to know that I am a lucky person. That lucky girl syndrome thing, that was, we all knew about this in the personal development space years ago. It's just a different name for it. It's the same thing. Yes. I know I'm a lucky person. I know good things happen to me. I know that even when bad things happen to me, it means that this had to happen for something better to happen. Yes. Bad things happen to me, and we were talking off air, and like that lawsuit thing, this, that. Like I'm a business owner. Things are messy, like crazy bills. Like it's people in my company, like, dealing with people, it's all hard. and you deal with hard things. But if you have this core belief that you're going to be okay, first of all, at the end of the day, and everything is happening as it should to bring you to where you need to be. And of course, tragedies happen, but maybe they teach you something. Maybe they teach you how precious life is. Maybe they teach you that you need to be more present. You need to actually appreciate your life more every day. So if you have this mentality, everything starts to change.
Yeah, I will say now at this point in my life, I have so much trust in God and my path and everything happening for a reason that when something bad happens, I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to see why. Like, I can't wait to understand why this happened. Like, I can't wait to see what the outcome of this is going to be. Like, is it going to be more growth? Is it going to be more self-love? Is it going to be a better friendship with someone else? Is it going to be a better relationship with someone else? Like, and I also know that my human mind and self is doing its best to guide me as far as I can go, but my higher self and God are like working together and they know best. So it's like I'm probably not going to be taking myself to the best places, meeting the best people, doing the best things. So sometimes there needs to be an intervention that like needs to happen to get me on the path that's meant for me and on the path that's better for me. But I love that so much. And I really think that the point about the neural pathways being easier to use and being the preferred neural pathways, once we've sort of adjusted to that, is so real. Like how positively I see everything in life now is insane. And I was someone that I was a depressed child. It wasn't like I was freakishly negative, but I didn't see things the way I do now. And everything now is positive. Everything now has like potential. Everything now has possibility. And it really is the like reps over time of the neural pathways, and then it gets easy.
Your brain changed, by the way. Your whole brain is different to how it was back then. You took the bunny trail. So think about it. You're on this road that's been used all these times. And then you have one extra thought. Maybe it comes from an audio you're listening to or whatever it is, or a journaling session. And then there's a bunny trail on the other side. And the more you take it, the more that becomes a route and the easier it becomes. So starting is the hardest part. And you don't need to be perfect.
Yes.
This is the biggest teaching that I've been taught. You do not need to be perfect. I have not had one perfect day in my entire journey of self-discovery, personal development, transforming my finances, my body, my relationships, my self-conception, self-love. I have never had one perfect day. It is all about how quickly you bounce back to being your future self. It's not about whether or not you've been perfect. It's about your bounce back rate. I'm actually writing a book about that right now. I just got a deal with Hay House. Yeah, I'm really excited.
I know. I think you announced it. I was like, I bet I know where she's going. I bet I know her house.
Guess who manifested it? Can I actually tell you something crazy?
Of course.
Another weird manifestation thing. Because I love these stories. I love hearing these stories. It just expands your mind. So I've been working with my book agent for a year, trying to write this book pitch. I've always wanted to be an author. So when I was manifesting and, when I'm listing my activations, I think about what I want. And from a book perspective, I wanted a very large multi-six-figure book deal. And in my mind, I was always like, I want it with Penguin. I don't know why.
They're the biggest house.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted it with Penguin. So I'd visualize this and I told my agent this and she was, laughing. Okay, Mimi, let's see if this works. Anyway, I ended up a few months ago getting this deal with Penguin didn't pick it up when we pitched it, but Hay House did and ended up getting this amazing, very large deal, like the one I wanted. And a few weeks later, after the deal went through and we signed everything, my agent calls me. She's like, "You're so good at this." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Penguin just bought Hay House."
Stop.
I was like, "Of course they did."
Wait, that's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
So anyway, things like that happen to you when you get into the energy. And you just,
Wow.
you look at life sometimes and you laugh and you're like, "Thanks, universe."
Literally. Sometimes I'm like with manifestation. Sometimes I'm like, is it my psychic abilities or is it manifestation? Like with you even writing down the list of your man, is he in your field and you see him, so you write down the list, or do you write down the list and you attract him?
So based off of Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, it is the field that influences matter. Matter does not influence the field. So I've been to a few of his retreats and his work is so deep. It's like
So
if you have a
powerful.
health thing,
Yeah.
go see him.
I know I've thought about taking my dad there because his health. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't think he would go, but I've thought about it.
You know what? Some people totally open up their eyes to it. Like, because he speaks in a very like scientific, pragmatic way.
Yeah.
I love his work. It's so much deeper than mine. Like my work's good for manifesting money, getting your dream body, getting your dream relationship.
Yeah, perfect.
Like but his meditations are like 2 hours long. Like you have to commit to his work. It's beautiful, but it's like completely different. So it's if you have like a big health thing, I think. But what he says, because I've researched his work, is that the field influences matter. Okay. So they did a study where I forget exactly what it was, but they took maybe like 1,000 people and were testing for some sort of cancer in their body. And the people that had the cancer, and then they tested their like biofield. So there is a way to test your energetic field. Like in science, it's called a biofield, I think. I might be wrong,
I
but
think it sounds right.
yeah. And they can test like the, like the patterns in it. So the people that had, I think it was like ovarian cancer or something, the people that, or the women that had ovarian cancer had like a distorted biofield in that area. And then the people that did not have that distorted field. But then they noticed a small group of people that had the distortion without the cancer. They followed them for the next decade, and every single one ended up developing that cancer.
Wow.
So that's proof that the field influences matter. And
Wow.
that's your physical body.
It's almost like the field is out, and it's like those are your thoughts being created and pushed out into the field. And then it's like getting denser and denser and denser and becoming the cancer, becoming the issue in your body. You know what I mean? If we're going from like the matter and then it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter because it's getting more and more energy behind it to like compact into your cells.
I wouldn't be surprised. You hear all these stories about people that have gone through terrible things like getting molested as a child and then getting prostate cancer, getting, so there's a lot of things like that. Really crazy stuff. So I think that the field influences matter.
Yeah.
And on a very small scale, I've changed things physically. I've been really lucky to have no serious health issues. But my whole life I had keratosis pilaris in my arms. Like
I did when I was younger.
Yeah, I've always had it.
I don't know what it's from.
Well, I actually think it's emotional and linked to like self-consciousness because it started when I was 8 years old. And that's when I started being aware that maybe I wasn't like super skinny and looking like everyone else, or maybe I just was self-conscious. And it developed back then. And a few years ago, I started visualizing in my activation practice, like a version of me without it. And it literally went away.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's one crazy story. And sometimes when I'm not feeling fully aligned with who I desire to be, it comes back a little bit, but it's like 80% gone.
Wow.
And when I'm really activating and in that energy, a lot of the time it goes completely away. It's very crazy.
Do you remember the moment when you were 8 when you were like, whoa, self-conscious?
I don't.
8 is young.
8's young. I went through everything young, Krista. I did a lot young. I was influenced young.
What is an 8-year-old? Like,
I know.
I don't remember my childhood, so I'm like, what's an 8-year-old doing?
I remember going to summer camp and wearing long sleeves to the lake because I just didn't want to show my arms because they were covered in those little bumpies.
Stop.
I had a lot of self-consciousness.
Did you see your mom have self-consciousness?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
My mom's always struggled with her weight. And growing up, there was so much focus on body.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Huge. I mean, that mother wound is like huge.
I think moving to London when I was 18, 19 was actually what like finally got me away from it. And then I come back home to visit and I'd be at my grandmother's house having family dinner. My aunt, my mom, my sister, my grandma at the table all talking about, oh, one more bite. Oh, should we be naughty? Should we have this? Oh, this is so good. I need to eat more. Oh, I'm so full. Like, why are you announcing that? Like, I got so upset. I was like, you guys can't even see this. So being away from it made me realize it. And thankfully, I've stopped this pattern and can't wait to have children because I'm going to now not have this pattern. Of course, I won't be perfect, but I'm not going to be ever talking about my body in a negative way.
It's exhausting. I mean, it took me I don't even know what today is. It's taken me this time to recover from Christmas.
Oh, really?
We were like at a dinner, going out to dinner. And during the dinner, it was like, we're not going tomorrow. We're not eating tomorrow. Too much for dinner. This is ridiculous. We've eaten way too much. We had to cancel our dinner tomorrow. Like it is like,
what?
I know it's insane. Like it was like,
oh God, that's terrible.
The whole freaking trip was just about that. And I'm like, I literally was like, how did I get out?
Good for you.
Like,
that's
and
tough.
even the first night, because we had been talking about it all day, there was just the whole world is about it. I was in my bed and I was like, I need to lose weight. I was like, and then I started and I was like, oh, that's not mine.
No.
I was like, that ain't mine.
No, good for you for noticing
Do not
that.
consent like to that. But it was so easy to trip back in and just kind of get absorbed in that thought of that whole pattern. But it's hard to see when you're young, 0 to 7, you're just recording. And then after that point, you're still kind of taking it in. So you think that's normal. I'm naughty. It's bad to eat. Like we need to look a certain way. We need to do a certain thing. And it's just, it's heartbreaking that we all sort of have that because it limits us so much. Like to think if we wouldn't have had to go through our entire life and then have that part, like I'd be so much further along. Because I think my food journey, I think you said too, was like the first, maybe my depression and anxiety I had to heal. And then the food body journey was like the real start of my process.
Me too.
With things. Because it just gets so bad where you're like, dude, I can't exist like this.
Yeah.
Like no more.
And that feeling of deep self-hatred and not being good enough is just the worst feeling to be in. And when we realize that our bodies do so much for us, like we should love on our bodies so much. And like I didn't have this way of thinking for most of my life. And then when you finally get out of that, it's like you're living a completely new existence. Life is worth living.
Yeah.
You're like enjoying the beauty of being alive for once in your life.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I actually love your perspective on that. And I totally feel aligned of like everyone's doing all this work, this personal growth work, this healing work, this self-development work, but it's like become a new job and become like something where it's like people are doing it because they hate themselves and not because they love themselves.
Yeah.
And I really love your perspective on like living life and enjoying life and how beautiful life can be. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, my whole why is because I want to feel alive. Think about throughout your day how many times you feel numb. You wake up, you look at your phone. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about just the general public.
Yeah, I'm like, what? I'm like, you don't know me. I'm perfect.
Listen.
I meditated from 5 a.m. till now.
We were talking off air how I had to delete Instagram off my phone this morning because I was mindlessly scrolling.
I didn't sleep at all last night. I was up from 1 to 5 doing my thing.
Listen, sis, bounce back rate.
Like, bounce back rate. I was like, we're just going to be up, honey. I ate my breakfast at 3 a.m. It's all good.
Oh my God.
Isn't that insane? I was like, maybe I'll just start my day.
You know what? It's intuitive eating. It's beautiful.
It is intuitive eating. I was like, cool.
So, what was I just saying?
What was my question? Living your life, loving your life.
So my whole why is being alive because I started to notice over the years, especially with the rise of technology, social media, I would just I always go back to how it feels. I'm a very big feeler. Intuitively, I'm a feeler. So I just started thinking, okay, what am I feeling like when I'm not feeling good? Oh, I'm feeling numb. Either I've been on technology too much, I've been staring at a screen for work, like whatever it is. It's a lot of technology for me. I've been overthinking. I've been out of my head or in my head, not in my body. I always feel like you're numb when you're like not feeling your physical state. Like you need to feel your body to get out of it. That's why in a lot of activations, I'll be like, hey, just notice your body for a second, feel the vibration. So my purpose and my big why is to feel as alive as possible. And included in that underneath, it means living a big, abundant life, like being healthy, having a beautiful relationship. I have all these things underneath, but my main thing is being alive. I want to feel life. We have one shot at this thing, Krista. Like one shot at living life. It's so short. We need to live it. Why waste a third of your life staring at social media with the intention to distract yourself and numb out? Why you literally spend a third of your life sleeping, and
they say a third on social media.
A third on technology these days. That's an average now. Like people are spending like 6 to 8 hours a day, honestly, at minimum, staring at a screen. Not just social media, but like going to work, staring at a computer all day, going home, watching TV, scrolling before bed. That's not a life. That is not living. My biggest fear is waking up one morning when I'm like 90 years old and looking back on my life full of regret, full of like, what the hell have I done? I haven't lived. So that's my why. You have one shot at this thing, one shot at life. How badly do you want to live a big life, an extraordinary life? And that's my biggest. So I don't know what the question was. What was?
No, that was about living life. That was exactly it.
So that's my why. And I think everyone has that, by the way.
Yeah.
Everyone has this feeling. Every single person listening has had that gut feeling inside of them. I'm meant for more.
Yes.
And every single person is meant for more.
That like makes me, that feeling has like made me insane. Like
Yeah, but no, let it drive you. You need to feel that like power inside
yeah,
of you sometimes. Like you need to feel, quote, negative emotions sometimes to make radical
yep,
changes in your life.
yep.
So, like you need to feel angry at yourself
Mhm,
for not doing this for all this time. You
mhm,
need to be like, okay, like you need energy to change.
mhm,
And nothing changes until you change. And to
mhm,
change your old habits and beliefs and thoughts and all that BS going on in your mind, you need to change how you live and
mhm,
who you want to be. Create a beautiful vision of her in your mind and then choose to be her before it exists. You must first become the kind of person that has what you want before you achieve those things.
mhm.
Because guess what? The person sitting here today, whoever is listening, if you're sitting there, like, and you want to have this crazy different life, if you just got this handed to you tomorrow, you wouldn't know how to handle it. You need
Yeah,
to become that person
mhm.
first. You have to.
That's the one thing is I do feel like you are given what you can handle, and that's what I've known over time with my career path or relationships or whatever. It's like you're never like if you're exactly that's why people that win the lottery lose it all because they can't
Perfect
hold
example.
that much energy. You can't
Perfect.
hold that much.
Mhm.
So you are being like crafted and sculpted to be able to hold what is meant for you and be able to do what is meant for you. That's even like speaking events, like moving from it's actually good to move from smaller rooms to the big rooms
Yeah.
because energetically from a frequency level, it's hard to hold that much. It's hard to like kind of be in that much. So I truly trust that process. Would you say that's the future self frequency? Like, what would you say the future self frequency is?
Let's talk about the future self frequency. So, it is so easy. Again, I keep saying this because old Mimi would have been like, oh, it's so hard. Like, I have literally hacked transformation and personal development. Like, this shit is actually easy. And keep that in mind because your beliefs create your life and your experiences. So, it is easy to do this.
Hmm.
So, your future self
Love that.
frequency is the feeling in your body
Hmm.
inside and around you of what your future self is, who she is, how she feels, what it feels like to have those things, and how you create it. We have like longer seated activations on Superhuman to like for you to really go deep. We have writing activations for you to write it if you're more of a writer, but I'm going to do it with you super simply right now, like a very bared, stripped
Hmm.
down version.
Okay.
And everyone, you can do this, whatever you're doing. Just you can it's actually better if you're doing this with your eyes open while doing something because then it teaches you, it's harder, but it teaches you how to actually do it. So, what you need to do, and there are going to be layers to this. So, what we're going to do is we're going to visualize with our body. So, when I say visualize, I mean visualize, but feel. Okay.
Hmm.
So, visualize with our body, a few different layers. And I think we can go pretty basic here. Everyone's will be slightly different, but I'm going to go pretty basic, which means love, abundance, happiness, health. Okay. Let's
Love
use
it.
those four. So, what you're going to do is casually, you're just going to start feeling in your body what it feels like to have love in your life, love for yourself, love for other people around you, maybe a new relationship, maybe an existing one. Just love. What does love feel like? We all know what it feels like. Be in tune with your feminine energy. You're feeling love in your heart. It goes in your chest. It kind of,
Hmm.
like a butterfly inside and around you. Love, like just loving love. And you feel that vibration. And you can also envision it a meter or two around you, like your little field. Love, beautiful love. It's just that one feeling of love. And then once you have nailed down that feeling of love, then you're going to hold on to it, but you're going to add an extra layer on top and let it kind of mingle in with the love. You're going to add in abundance. And under abundance, it's wealth, it's opportunity, it's big, whatever, if it's money, if it's success, whatever that means for you. Okay. Abundance. Hold on to that love feeling as your baseline. And we're going to come mix in, like a little scientist, your
Hmm.
energy of abundance. So as you hold on to love, you feel, ooh, those beautiful, tingly sensations of feeling wealth and abundance and opportunity and this like big life, abundance, whatever you want, whatever you want. All right. So, what does that feel like to you? You have love as a baseline. You're coming in, mixing in abundance. All right. Your energy is changing. So, you have love in there, but then you're also mixing that energy with abundance, and your vibration has slightly dialed up and changed in a slightly different way. So, right now, With me, you are holding on to the vibration of
Mm,
love and abundance. Feels good.
feels
Like
good.
it's a good
We just
high
had a
vibe.
conversation with an expert on narcissism, and I'm like holding a feeling of love. I'm like, is that just chemistry? You know what I mean? I'm like, like, I just was like, we had this whole thing about how chemistry, and now I'm like, I'm thinking of someone, and I'm like, wait, is that chemistry or is that love? But I hear you. I have to think of someone in my life that like I
Mm.
deeply love, or an animal or something, and then I'm like, okay, that can help me activate. But
Mm.
it's like hard for me to not have a visual or something to
Okay,
feel
then
it.
think about it.
Can you feel it without having a visual?
Yes.
Wow.
But I think a lot of people can. Like it's not as hard as you think, and it also gets better with practice.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
let's just finish
Okay, yes.
this. But it's if you're listening right now and you've held on to that feeling while we just did a
Yes.
side
Good
topic,
for you.
then that's the trick.
That's the test. I'm testing you
Yeah,
guys.
exactly. Krista did that on purpose.
Yeah.
So you're holding on to love and abundance. It's that warm feeling in your heart. It's that expansive feeling around your shoulders, abundance, opportunity, love. Okay. Now we're going to add in joy, happiness. Now just it's one slight little tweak. Happy, being like just
Mm.
smiling and being happy and in love with life and joyful. Love, abundance, joy. Okay, hold on to that for a second. Understand how that feels. It's a different vibration. It feels slightly different. And then last but not least, add health. So whether that means living in a body that you love, feeling radiant and healthy, having bright, clear white eyes, having energy, health. So add that in. And then this is your future self frequency or kind of a universal version of it. You can create your own with different elements. But even though I said those four emotions, yours and I's are going to be different in a vibrational level in our bodies because we interpret things differently. So my future self frequency is like dialed into a specific little number here, and yours is too. It's similar, but it's different. So everyone's going to have their unique future self frequency. And the reason this practice is so important. So you need to just understand what that feels like once. And then, like, the hard work is done. Then you just tune into it when you're doing your activations in everyday moments, when you're in line at the grocery store, like, whatever you're doing, just tune into it. And if you do this, your life will change.
Mhm.
You're magnetizing different things into your life when you do this. You are being the version of you that has those things.
Why are you magnetizing different things into your life in that frequency? Like what's happening?
Well, scientists will call it quantum physics. Atheists will call it the placebo effect. Spiritualists
Mhm.
will call it, the law of
Mhm.
attraction.
Mhm.
And people that are religious or Christian will call it God
Mhm.
or prayer.
Mhm.
Okay. So I don't know what you believe in or people
Mhm.
listening believe in. For me, I kind of veer towards like the scientific and
Mhm.
slightly spiritual side.
Mhm.
Like, I don't even know what I believe in. All I know is that my energy creates my life. Like, I'm
Yeah,
still trying to figure out what I believe in, but I have
totally.
been proven too many times that this stuff works,
Mhm.
that I'm just riding the wave because it is a completely new way of living when you
Mhm.
practice this
It
work.
is. Mhm.
So that's my answer.
Wow. Yeah, and I've seen it, you've seen it, and I'm feeling very inspired to do my audio too of like my dream life and expand it. I want to talk a little bit about purpose because I feel like that's a huge conversation and question that our audience has is how to find your
Mm.
purpose. So what would you say to someone that's like, I want to find my purpose? How do I make meaning of my life?
So, your purpose, I think, and meaning could be different. For me, my meaning is because I want to
Mm,
feel alive and I just want to feel like physically and mentally and
vital
emotionally
and yeah,
like amazing. But
totally.
my purpose, I believe, is bringing activations to the world
Mhm.
and birthing
Mhm.
activations. And my purpose took me almost a decade to find. Took almost a decade of throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what stuck.
Mm,
So that's my, like, if you want to talk about like career purpose,
yeah.
I also think another purpose of mine is to be a mother one day.
Yes.
Like, I have many purposes, but when it comes, something that I now know for sure is my purpose with work is to bring activations to the world
Mhm.
and help people actually do something very, very simple and easy to change their life. Like, I have so much compassion for people that find it hard, that live a really busy life. Like, listen, when I 8 years ago had $8 in my bank account, was living in London, working 4 jobs, working at a juice bar in the mornings, and running to an intern at a styling agency, then babysitting at night, and then
I
like
babysat forever.
I was such a babysitter.
Such a babysitter. I loved babysitting.
Loved
I still have
babysitting.
kids that like, they're like, you are still their favorite.
Oh, I
I
love
know.
that.
I'm like,
That's
I
so
better be,
sweet.
bitch.
Yeah. But, going from that point, I forget what I was going to say, but like,
Going from that low point to the purpose.
oh yeah. So like I needed to go through
Yeah.
all of that to realize what I had inside of me. And
Mhm.
I now know, because we have changed tens of thousands of lives with this app, that this is what I meant to do. And it's like back in the day, like I didn't want to, I didn't like it. I didn't have the time really to like sit down and meditate for 30 minutes to visualize my dream life, to then open up my eyes as the same person I was before. Like I need to figure something out that actually worked, that actually allowed me to go through my day and to go through my crazy day while transforming my life in a way that actually felt good. Like activations are exciting. Like I look forward to my activations. I didn't look forward to my meditations. They're fun. It's like they make you feel like you're the main character of your life. You're doing your walking activation, walking to the bus stop, going to your shitty job, whatever. In that moment, you are feeling and embodying the energy of your abundant self. And then the more you practice doing that in the shitty situations that you're in, the more your life will change and the more you will change. Because, Krista, another more sciencey point here is that your self-image creates your life.
Yeah.
Like this entire work is based off of how your self-image determines everything. How you see yourself and the personality that you've created for yourself creates your life. And if you want to go, this is a lot more like a lot less spiritual, but there is a theory where it's like, think about, you have an internal thermostat for all these different areas of your life. You probably heard of this, but
Gay
it's
Hendricks.
such an amazing example. So
What is it?
so-
Genius Zone?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I heard Ed Milet talk about it, and then I heard this other guy talk about it. But it's such a great representation
Yep.
of what this is, because it literally is such an easy, like I like to hear things like this to understand theories. So
Yeah.
essentially, like let's say your money thermostat is set at like a 70 degrees. If someone opened up the window and it got a lot cooler or it got a lot warmer in that room, like systems would turn on for the heating to go on and to get back to that baseline, that standard 70 degrees. And just like how, if you won the lottery and your financial thermostat was at like a 5, you're going to lose all that money. So just same with body, you went on vacation, you gained a few pounds. Naturally, you don't feel comfortable in that version of yourself, that body. So you're just like not even going to try much, but it's just going to fall back off. Same thing goes with losing weight. If you have not changed your self-image, but then you've gone through a big weight loss, you're not going to maintain that weight loss until you align with the self-image of the version of you that effortlessly feels great in a body that's 20 pounds lighter. So that thermostat theory is so good, because you need to create a new set point first before changing the thing, because then it's going to be this cycle of changing it and going back, changing it and going back. You need to change your self-image. How to do that? You change your thoughts, beliefs, subconsciously retrain your brain. For me, audios have been the best way to do, activations have been the best way to do that.
And I love the temperature theory too, because it is, it's like incremental. And I think that's the biggest thing with any change. It's like, how can you just be a little bit better? Like Jordan Peterson talks about making small goals instead of really big goals. It's like, we want to have big visions for our life, but small goals actually help us build momentum and self-confidence. So you're like, I'm going to only walk 5,000 steps today if I normally do 2, instead of being like, I'm going to do 20,000 every single day. And then you can really build momentum. So I love that even thought about people adding in activations for their day of doing like 1 a day or like, 2 a day. How do you work activations into your flow? And for someone that's new, like how would you tell them to use the app?
It's so simple.
It is a really
all
simple
you need
app.
to do
It's
is press
amazing.
play. You don't need to carve out time to do this. Like this is habit stacking your manifestation practice. It is so easy. all you need to do is press play. We have so many different categories. You can just play things in the background at first just to get used to it. Like you don't even need to actually pay attention. Just play it. And you can also like, we have very specific niche ones. Like, if you're about to go into a big meeting you're nervous about, there is like a
I
pep
love the
talk.
niche. I was like, the niche is amazing.
There's pretty much an activation for every moment of your life. Like, get into your best self energy before going into a meeting, like before public speaking, or like,
First date.
after like we have holiday themed activations, and it's like calm down after a family argument, like set the intention to not binge eat, like like we have everything. So how to work it into your life, like it's really up to you. We have some users that use it literally all day long, from the moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep. That's obviously a super user, but then most of our users just like will put it on if like, instead of listening to a podcast or music, it's literally just a different type of audio.
Yeah.
It's like a new category of audio. So I love listening to podcasts. Like we're podcast girlies. I love a podcast, but then sometimes I'm not in the mood to like learn and listen.
Yeah.
But then I'm also not in the mood to like listen to just music. I want something kind of in between. And that's where activations fit in. So like whether you're driving to work and you want to put on an anytime activation, which is just like really high vibe music with affirmations, simple, easy, done, or you are on a flight and you are about to go on a vacation and you really want to manifest like the best time in the world, like you can pop one of those on. Or our pep talks are really popular. They're like 2 minutes long and they just like are super inspiring and just kind of get you into this state. Our seated ones are also great, but the reality is with Superhuman, I've categorized all of these audios, but you can kind of listen to them all interchangeably whenever, wherever. Like we just have categories to guide people, but like I often listen to a seated one like while I'm getting ready, or I'll listen to a getting ready one while I'm like journaling, or like the writing activations are really great because they are guided journaling. And I think putting pen to paper is so transformative. So in the past, I'd always struggle with like, what do I write about? So I would write, these prompts, and then we record them for writing activations, and it's just easy.
And you do all the audio?
Yes, I'm the voice.
Wow. Which is huge.
I think one day in the future, we might like, we want to integrate a lot of AI into the app in the future. So like once it's good enough, maybe turn my voice into like whatever voice you want.
Wow.
But no one.
Like a British man or something.
Yeah. Like a hot British guy.
Yeah, like Australian.
I'd listen to that. Gosh,
Yeah,
I'd love that.
honestly.
Sometimes I actually don't like, hearing my own voice, but I kind of disassociate, I guess. Some people ask me, oh, is it better because it's your own voice when you listen to it? But I'm like, no, because then I'm like thinking,
Yeah.
oh, what could I have said?
Of
Like,
course.
because this is something that I do all day long. But so I disassociate and I don't think about it as mine. But yeah, just like, Headspace has their founder as the voice.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's me.
I love that.
But, the content itself like has been inspired by so many different places, and, it's definitely something worth trying. And by the way, for everyone listening, we have a 2-week free trial. So if you want to go check it out for free, I'm sure
We got
Krista
you
will
guys.
put stuff in the description.
I've been using it and I'm just kind of blown away that, I don't know, it feels like it does mix everything that I love. I love audio, like I love visualization. And it's interesting because before Superhuman, I would go to YouTube and I would find like Louise Hay affirmations. I would do like Abraham Hicks. And it would be such a mess. And then it would kind of get my brain in YouTube land too early. And sometimes I would hear ads in the middle, and sometimes it would be riffraff, and sometimes it was like too inconsistent. So to come to a place where I can have like exactly what I need for my visualization and for really like tuning into something that I know I've needed to do, I've fallen off a little bit with that. Like I kind of go in and out. Like sometimes I'll just start living my life and I'm like, what is all of this work? But it's been absolutely beautiful. I saw Miranda Kerr uses it. Like you guys look very similar.
Oh, wow. What a compliment. Are you kidding? Maybe I'm like 5 feet shorter.
Yeah, honestly. But I was like, whoa, what are her favorites? Like, what does she love about it?
Oh yeah, it was kind of crazy when I saw that she, messaged me and was like, "Oh my God, I'm using your app." It was kind of surreal.
That's very surreal.
And I actually went and met her at her house when I was in LA last time to go record a podcast with her. She's honestly, like, I almost don't want to say this because no one's perfect, but she's perfect.
Yeah.
Like, she's so nice. She's so beautiful. She's so poised.
An angel.
She's just a really beautiful human.
Who's she with? Orlando Bloom?
No, that was
years ago.
Girl, you need to catch up on your gossip drama.
I need to.
She's now with the Snapchat.
Oh yeah, Snapchat
founder.
Cool.
Yeah, their place is beautiful. Like she just lives a very
Spiegel.
amazing life. And can I tell you something? When we were talking on the podcast, she came on my podcast. When we were talking, I was asking her like, how did you create this life? Because you came from, a small town in Australia. Like, look around you. She's like, I embodied the energy. She essentially said that she does this work and she has her whole life. So anyway, to see that she's a user on the app was pretty surreal. And we've also had other really incredible, like top performers, like Olympians use the app. Like there was this girl that's an Olympian message me being like, hey, I listened to this activation before I went out and I had my best score of life. Like it's really good for performance. The thing about activations compared to meditation is that activation is for performance. Meditation is for like inspecting your thoughts and calming down.
Mm-hmm.
Like activation is for like active transformation. And meditation, of course, there's so many benefits to it, but activation has different benefits. It activates that future self energy inside of you. It's for transformation, external transformation, physical transformation.
Wow. I am so excited. I'm jazzed. I'm jazzed and excited. Renee, are you jazzed and excited? We're gonna do our activations. And I'm so excited for our audience. You guys, this is major. So you can get into the app with a 14-day free trial and 60% off your subscription. This is for a limited time. So stop this podcast and do this right freaking now and tell me which activation you love. It's activations.com/almost30. So basically 14 days free, 60% off.
Up to 60%. The
Up to
yearly,
60%
the
off.
yearly. What?
Up to 60. I just want to make sure. Up to 60%.
Yeah. So with the yearly membership, because it's like the best deal, with the yearly, you're already getting 6 months free.
Wow.
Well, that's like the original deal of the yearly, but we're giving you guys an extra discount. So in total, it's like over 60% off the yearly. Monthly, there's also a discount, but yearly is where you'll make the most savings. And we literally never do sales ever.
Wow.
So it's a very good opportunity. We wanted to give a gift to the Almost 30 community.
Oh my God, you guys.
We also have a money back guarantee, by the way, guys.
Wow.
So like try it for your 2-week free trial, get it heavily discounted. If you hate it, we'll give you your money back. Like I wanted to make it the lowest risk possible for people to try because we barely have any people that do not, that end up going through the money back guarantee because they just like it so much.
Wow. And our audience is so down with this. Like, this is like perfect for them. So activations.com/almost30, activations.com/almost30, you guys. And then where can everyone find you?
Well, me, I don't even know where I hang out these days.
Yeah, you're like, I hate social media. Let's just activations.com/almost30.
Yeah. No, I actually have been reinvesting into my YouTube this year, which is kind of random. But I really wanted to create more high quality videos. So on my YouTube, just Mimi Bouchard, Instagram too, Mimi Bouchard. But I probably, hang out between there. My team does post for me on YouTube and TikTok and stuff. So, you can see stuff there, but I am trying to be a low social media girly.
She's trying to live life. I mean, she's trying to practice what she preaches.
Yes.
I am pumped. Okay, guys, enjoy. We'll see you later. Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Mimi. Again, that was with Mimi Bouchard. She's the founder of Superhuman. She has the Mimi podcast. You can find her online at Mimi Bouchard on Instagram and then mimibouchard.com. That's BOUCHARD. And I had so much fun with her.
And for the app, y'all, you're going to get not only a 14-day free trial, but you can get up to 60% off your subscription for a limited time at activations.com/almost30. So this discount can basically save you up to $227, which is pretty amazing. That equals about 8 months. So start today, start free, activations.com/almost30. Thank you all so much for listening. We adore you. Be sure to subscribe to Almost 30 so that you can get new episodes into your episode inbox every single week, and subscribe to our other show, Morning Microdose, which is a clip show. It's the best of Almost 30, 5 to 15 minutes, which you can start your day with and just start your day right.
We love you guys. Bye-bye.